Hello guys, hello. Hi everyone. We're
Hey.
back for our second episode, with our second episode. And with this episode, we are going to talk about cultures, mainly Sweden, Nordic cultures, as well as Sri Lankan cultures and heritage. What we have while we are having tea, Fika, we have some Fika here, so it's all about having a good time talking through it stuff as well as let you know what's actually going on with the history of Nordic and Scandinavian. Yeah. So see a nice cup here we have.
Yeah, I started to serve here. You got
Yeah,
and that's powder tea.
that's quality. Right?
Yeah, and
Great.
that's not special for Sweden. Maybe in Sri Lanka,
Okay.
but it's tasted with vanilla
Okay.
among something else. So you try it.
I'll try. Yeah.
And I take instant coffee. That has been modern in
Sweden.
yeah in this house. It's quicker, easier, and for me, it tastes quite good. So this is coffee and tea.
Tea. Yeah, and like when it comes to this particular cup, it has a story that you were telling about me. So I would like you can see a logo here as well as there's a story behind this particular cup, and he will go through it, and it actually represents the culture of Sweden as well as for Nordic. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
story. That's a story.
Yeah, it was fascinating. It's about Queen Margaret, and she reigned over all Nordic countries, even the Greenland and the Faroes and Ireland and Finland, Sweden, Denmark and Norway. And this cup was made here in Kalmar because we celebrated the 600 years since the Kalmar Union was the name of this period when she reigned over all the Nordic countries. And they made a special number of those cups and had them for selling at the castle here in Kalmar. 1997, that was the 600 year.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's such a long time.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
And we have chocolate mousse here, which Sia has specially made for this evening because it's a special occasion. We had our first episode as well as the premiere, and this is the second one. I'll post you with how he has made this whole chocolate mousse. There's another video and included in this video as well. So I'll share that as well in between the videos. So when it comes to Nordic countries, Sweden heritage, Sweden culture, what can you tell about us about how all this started from, I mean, Viking years?
That's quite a lot to talk about. I think that Sweden is, or the Nordic countries, most famous abroad when you are talking about old times. It's the Vikings.
Okay.
That was in especially Iceland, Norway, Sweden during around 300 after BC.
You're talking about Vikings, or you have Vikings all around the Scandinavia?
Yeah, it was not only in Sweden. They were colonizing all the Nordic countries, you can say.
Where did they come from?
Well, the original people, then we are going back to as early as the Stone Age.
Okay.
I think your culture in Sri Lanka was much, much, much earlier.
Yeah, that's right. We actually, with books, written records age as far as 2,500 years. But we believe our culture and our history goes way beyond that. And there are such stories. Of course, we have quite technically sound culture and different sorts of ethnicities and group, like, different groups that we have been colonized with before all these voyagers come to Sri Lanka, before like Portuguese conquered or Dutch conquered or English conquered. Before that, we had quite a huge history. And culture, of course, as similar as to Viking era, but before that, we had a long culture.
And many years before.
Yeah,
understanding.
So the Vikings actually developed when it comes to this part of the world. They developed all these region.
Yeah, you can say so. They are known as conquering people, but they also lived an ordinary life. They had animals, and they also farmed.
When it comes to that, modern Sweden is pretty much drastically changed over the past years with the World War. I think you have developed yourself inventing a lot of stuff like technology and products. Like I know the brands such as Volvo, Saab, stuff came from.
Since we didn't was a part of the war, we had the Second World War, and it was a very fast, rapid, and expensive period for Sweden with growth. And during the 50s, for instance, Sweden built very much houses, especially program was taking place that favored families and also building up the cities, sanitary things, so people could live in the city and work. And industrial production also was very progressive. And we had quite a lot of inventions also. Maybe you've heard of Nobel and the dynamite.
I heard.
That's around the beginning of the 19th century. And then we also had the cars, Volvo, Saab, very known, also building airplanes, jets.
Saab.
Yeah, and you have Scania. Well, all the industrial world, I nearly feel that Sweden was the leading country in those different kind of technologies for a long time.
Yeah.
Still are. Now maybe our technology is most famous and developed is around IT, music. ABBA, the music
In
industry.
1970s, 60s, you are the leading exporter of, I think, music.
Yeah,
Your main income was music.
yeah, and I still think we have good positions in that
Of
part.
course. Good bands, good artists. Yeah, some songs, some would be surprised. Even you would be surprised to know some bands that have come from Sweden. That even myself, I knew, very recently these bands are from Sweden. Of course, yeah. And when it comes to Sri Lanka, if I talk through with our history also, the recent history, I will not go back to ancient history. Sri Lanka is actually built on Buddhism.
Yeah.
And actually, it's the platform of, it's not a religion, I would say, it's a way of living, as you know. And yeah, we were having so much of invention with ourselves as well back in our old days. Like we had our own industries when it comes to fabrics, clothes, and stuff. We have produced within our country as well certain things. And of course, when the Portuguese came conquering in the 70s. You can, correct me if I'm wrong, the dates and years. And even Dutch came after that. And we have, still we have those, touches of their, what you call, culture stuff and also, what you call, building structures, architectural brilliance in Sri Lanka of Dutch. And also then after that, English took over. And we got our freedom in 1948. After that, English had their constitutions in place and they put up a lot of regulations and rules against Sri Lankans, and we had to get our independence from them. And then, from 1940s, Sri Lanka had different, types of leaders, and also we had businessmen like Upali Vijayawardena, so who has actually built up, invented, even he has invented cars called Upali Fiat in Sri Lanka. It's a car built up in Sri Lanka as well as radio. small radio, and things like that. So we had a certain history of inventing stuff
But
like
it
that.
is a very huge difference between that background and Sweden. You have been in wars, many different countries have been in your country and expressed their values and other things. And here in Sweden, we have been free from that.
Yes.
So it has been much more calm development in that way. And I think that Sweden has a very, very solid base of trust to their history.
Yes.
It hasn't been disturbed by so much.
Mhm.
My own thinking is that we are very much influenced the last 30, 40, maybe 50 years. We are very influenced by the American style or way of living.
And you have a lot of Swedes living in America.
Also,
They have migrated.
we had a colony in America, Delaware.
Particularly built by Swedes.
Yeah, you can say.
Wow.
So when the big emigration was Sweden to America, it was during 1882, 1910, 15, all about. Very many moved to America because the people were starving here in Sweden. And they colonized some parts on the in the middle and the west side of America. There you can find many ancestors from Sweden.
Ah.
Mhm.
So there's a great touch in USA also by Sweden.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So what do you think of the culture now, then and now? How do you compare it?
In Sweden, you mean?
Yeah, and the whole Scandinavian region, because we have rapidly changed into having vibrant cultures together.
I think that with this solid ground that I was talking about, I'm not afraid of that our culture inheritance will be destroyed in any way. On the other side, quite opposite. It's very interesting and thrilling to see how culture, how influences come from other countries to Sweden and get incorporated. Today, pizza is very normal, for instance, in Sweden, very, very normal. But during the 50s and 60s, it was a new thing. And that's just one example. But then you have big groups coming with their cultural inheritance, and by the years they will be incorporated together with the Swedish culture.
That's what we are going to talk in future episodes.
That's interesting to see you think about what will that be.
Okay.
But I'm not afraid of it. We shouldn't be. Nationalists are afraid of that
change.
That change will destroy some fundamental things, but I don't think so.
In Sri Lanka also the same. We had people who come from different parts of the world selling business people who came from, because we are in middle of a crucial geographical position in the world map. And we had silk routes from China to all the way across the globe, which is the land. There's a land silk route as well as sea silk route. So we have positioned Sri Lanka. We are in a crucial position with the sea silk route goes through. So there's a geographical influence also from the big players in the world to control this place, as well as there have been a lot of influential stories behind that. I would not talk about those in detail, but the good thing is we have also diversified ourselves.
Yeah.
Even our main population is Buddhism. We have vibrant cultures mixed up. If you may go one day, you will realize we have Muslims, Hindus, Catholics, all together as one.
Yeah.
Although we had different rough patches back in our history, but we have come along and we have come through with it, and we have gone down, lift ourselves up, and still we are developing and we are trying to lift ourselves. And Sri Lankans are special, as I think. of myself, and we are different. Even we would misidentify in Europe as a different cultural or different continent, but we are special, as you know. People are saying from different countries who have been visiting Sri Lanka that our hospitality, our culture, our way of living is so much. Uh, it's I would put another level. So of course, as you said, we also have 22 million odd population now, and we are increasing that population really in a rapid manner. But as a small country, small nation in Southeast Asia, we are proud of ourselves as well, and that's I think we also proudly talk about our country in different nations when we visit as well. Here also I've done that, and I have promoted Sri Lanka.
Quite so
Yeah.
in that way. I really want to visit Sri Lanka, but that we can talk about
Later.
some
Yeah.
other time. Yeah.
So to wrap it up, this episode, the Nordic culture and Nordic way of living and how they have built up is quite extraordinary in a short manner. As compared to that, Sri Lanka has a huge history, and we have changed ourselves, evolved ourselves actually in different ways, in different manner. But of course, it's great to see how this part of the world has changed themselves within a short course of route, and still, yeah, very influential countries like Sweden and other Nordic nations in their how they act and how they contribute to world politics, world economy, and world inventions, new stuff. It's great to see. So yeah, so from this episode, I think you have learned something. Do you want to add more?
No, I'm quite satisfied.
Yeah.
If you are, I am.
Yeah, of course. We are enjoying our Fika now, so we'll enjoy it after this as well. So hope you have enjoyed this episode, and hope you continue following us and continue watching us. Please comment your ideas, comment your thoughts, and we'll get back to that as well. We'll read through, and we would love to hear from you as well. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.